Hey everyone, this is Ham the Guinness Gamer here, bringing you my next video on Myth of Empires. Today's video is going to be on proficiency and how that relates to skills. Before I get into that though, if you like this video, I'd be grateful if you could give me a subscribe, a like, and any comments to make, blah blah blah, all that normal stuff down below please. But for now, let's get straight into it. In Myth of Empires, proficiency is the word that they use for gaining experience in your skills. Now, skills is a wee bit different in this than it is in other MMOs and other games in general. Skills include, there's 25 skills in the game, and they range from one-handed, military or combat skills like one-handed shield, two-handed polearm, heavy armor. Then these are also military: projectile bow, crossbow and riding, and light armor. Then we've got some gathering skills, so planting, which is farming basically, hunting, lumbering, mining, and physique, crafting, sieging, building, armor, medicine, and command, drills, recruitment, tame, and renown. Now in the future I'll go through each of them individually and how they work. But today I'm going to use the planting, the farming, as the example for talking about the proficiency. Now, what proficiency is, as I say, it's the experience you gain in each of the skills. And I'm going to use the two words experience and proficiency interchangeably in this video, just because I'm used to using or talking about experience in that way. I do think that maybe the usage of the term proficiency might actually be a translation issue, because every other game you play they refer to it as experience. So what efficiency is, basically, as I say, it's the experience you gain in each individual skill. Now, skills range from level 0 right up to level 900. And that's the same for all 25 of these skills. Now, in essence, when you start, you can reach level 450 without needing to do anything special. Like every other game, all you have to do is you work on those skills to level them up. So to work on the planting skill, you just have to plant seeds and harvest seeds and hoe the ground and things like that, general farming activities. But once you hit level 450, that is when you have to go to a skill trainer basically, and he will unlock the next portion for you. The next portion will be up to level 600 if you see here at the bottom. Then the next portion after that's level 750, and then the next portion after that's 900. So you have to unlock them, and you pay copper coins to unlock them. If you look at my physique here, I have managed to hit level 450, but I haven't paid for the unlock yet, so I'm capped at 450 no matter how much physique, so it's kind of taking damage and carrying under effective attack, carrying heavy goods, conducting stamina costing actions, or planting, hunting, lumbering, or mining. So a lot of things actually contribute to your physique skill, but so I have it capped at the minute. I need to go to a skill trainer to unlock the next 150 so that I can keep working towards level 600. Whereas if you look at my planting here, I am actually at level 596. So you'll see that I have this kind of cream area here is a whole lot more unlocked right up here to, well, the cream area is what you've actually achieved so far, so it goes right up to 596. The tiny wee grey area there is what I have left to unlock or to gain in XP before I then have to next go to the skill trainer. And this greyed out diagonal area here is the part that I haven't unlocked yet for skills. So if you look at the difference there between those couple, like there's mining, that shows this middle area a wee bit clearer, the part that I still have to gain XP to progress through before needing a skill trainer. So proficiency, as I say, it's leveling up the skill. There are different ways to cause you to level that up quicker. Now again, you have to use the individual activity, and it shows here on the left hand side. You have to use the activity to actually level it up. But there's 3 different ways where you can you can enable yourself to level it up quicker. Now the first way that you'll unlock, which is fairly easy, is to use what are called expertise points, and these are these 5 wee swirly looking things down here at the bottom of the skill tab when you're on it. And right now I have 2 points put into the expertise out of 5 for planting. Now you unlock these expertise points by leveling up, and it's the only way you can get them is by leveling up. So They are limited. You definitely don't get them, or I don't believe you get them for every level that you level up, but at the start you get a good few, so you will have them almost immediately once you start playing the game. What you can do with these, you can put them into individual skills, but you can also take them back out of the skills, which is useful, so you can reallocate them. But depending on how much you reallocate in 1 week, it will start to cost you coins. So right now I've reallocated all of mine. You see this wee unspent expertise points down here at the bottom of the screen. This is at 0 for me because I've already spent my 5 free reallocations this week, but they refresh every week and you get more free ones. Essentially, if I were to reallocate now, which I'll show soon, it will cost me copper coins. So you can still do it, but it costs you more. So it's sort of just to discourage you from chopping and changing through them all the time. I tend to switch between hunting and planting depending on which I am focusing on. I tend to always keep 5 points in mining because I do that all the time. So, but depending on what way you play, you'll decide where to put them yourself. But it is good that you can take them back out in case you place them in the wrong place, and just for the cost of a bit of coin, you can reallocate them. So that's the first way. And if you see here down on the bottom of the screen, it says skill EXP efficiency times 2.05, and that's because I'm on 2 out of 5. As I get to 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, this figure will increase up to a multiple of 6. I will do that on the video, but I'm not going to do that yet. Reasons why will become clear enough soon. So that's the first way that you can increase your skill efficiency. The second way, should I say your proficiency efficiency, which is easy to say, sure. So the second way then, is another easy way to do it, is if you spend a bit of gold, a bit of copper coins in your boundary marker, and you will get this at some point when you're building your base. We actually need to put our protection setting on that, but we'll ignore that for now. So if you go to your blessing, we have player for proficiency gain plus 56%. Now this percentage will be different depending on how many points your guild has put into improving the blessings, but it will always be here, and you can take that blessing and it'll increase the rate at which you increase all of your proficiencies, any proficiency at all. That's the second way. The third way then involves going out to the main menu for me to show you it. And this is a way that can only be done when you're AFK. You can't do this during the game, but essentially what this is idle training here at the top of the screen. And this enables you to idly train, funnily enough, 3 of your 25 skills at any point. Now, you have to leave the game running. So if you're AFK, I understand why people won't want to do that necessarily, but you do have to leave the game running, but you can turn on this power saving mode, which will, well, presumably help the drain on electricity. But you can choose any 3 of these skills and you can leave it going as long as possible. And what that does is essentially, they refer to it as reserve proficiency, but essentially what it is rested XP for the skills. That's what it would be called in a lot of other games. And it's just XP that leaving this idle training on, it will give you that reserve proficiency, which means when you log back in, I've actually been doing this a decent bit today just to show, means when you log back in, you will have a reserve amount that you will gain at an increased rate of experience until that reserve amount is used up. So it makes it a lot quicker for you to level up, basically, your skills, that is. So I have the 3 of these on. You can leave it on as long as you want. The longer you leave it on, the more effective it is, the more efficient it is, but of course then the more of your electric it uses and the more AFK you actually have to be. So once you've spent a bit of time using that idle training, you can then go straight back into the game, and as I say, it'll give you an increased rate at which to gain proficiency in a certain skill. So, and once you use that up, then the increased rate will disappear. Oh, that was a bit nasty there, that login. So there's 3 ways then, basically, as I've went through there, to increase the proficiency gain. I'm going to show you how this actually stacks up by farming. Now, if you go to your talents and skills again, looking here at planting, right, as I said earlier, I'm level 596, so I'm nearly up to the next threshold, so I'm going to need to go to the skill trainer soon. There's a decent bit of information shown on this screen regarding planting or regarding farming. The first thing is this yellow bar down here at the bottom where I'm putting the mouse along. That is your leveling up to the next level in that skill. So I'm level 596, so I'm about 596 and a half really, because that's the halfway up to 597. If you look at that, that's just after 450. All right, it's not quite halfway towards 525 if we're counting these markers, but it's just before half anyway. And I'm going to run along here, and I'm going to use these fields and my bronze hoe as an explanation for what, just to prove really that these three different proficiency things do stack. And I've done some testing earlier on, and they do. So I've just hit that there. I've hit it once. And as you see, obtain EXP over on the right hand side. That's not your proficiency gaining, that is just your character gaining EXP. So that's to bring up your character level, that's not your proficiency, so don't be confused when you see that. When I go back in here then, talents and skills, we can look at planting, and hitting the ground once has increased that bar by say about a third. Let's say it was at about a third before, it was about there, so it increased about a third of one of these bar widths. All right, so I am now going to increase. Now, first of all, that is with my reserve proficiency increased from my idle training. So I've done a good bit of idle training earlier. I still have reserve proficiency here for farming, for planting, of 6,909. Probably across this video I'm going to use all of that up. It says here there, obtain reserve proficiency through remaining idle. When obtaining proficiency in the game, you'll consume reserve proficiency to obtain 5 times the amount of skill proficiency. Every category has a limit of 750,000 reserve proficiency. Resets to 0 when current skill level reaches level 900. So the reserve proficiency, so the idle training, gives you 5 times the amount. So that big chunk that I've just went up there, like a third of one of those bars, that is already multiplied by 5 because of the reserve proficiency already. So already you see, like, I was just one hoe stroke in the ground. Like, that's quite significant, because I'm level 596, so I'm well through the tree. It's not like you're at the very start and you're leveling really quickly. So that 5 times multiple has already increased what we're doing massively. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the rest of these expertise points in here. Alright. And we're going to hit the ground again just once with a hoe. And what this has now increased us by, talents and skills, back to plant. And we were there. So that has now all of a sudden increased us by basically a whole bar. If you're considering one of these, you know, the gap from 525 to 600, a whole bar, that has just increased that by a whole bar just with one hoe hit on the ground. Then the last thing I'm going to do now, the only thing I'm not sure is, I know these definitely stack. It says there that the idle training gives you 5 times the multiplier of proficiency skill gain. The planting then, these expertise points, gives you a 6 by multiplier, so that's significant. I'm not exactly sure how that ties in with this, with the blessing, because it is going to be 56%. So player proficiency gain 56%. So that is, I'm assuming that this times 6 is 600% and the times 5 is 500%, and therefore this 56% isn't going to be as big a jump, but we will see here now, because I'm going to hit the ground again. Just so, where are we before I do it? We are in planting, and we're just below 600, so I'm going to hit the ground once, and it has hit there. Planting, and 600. So we have just went up a whole, just more than a whole bar. So it looks like the blessing might actually affect it much less than the other two, which would make sense. Then that would tie in with what I just said, that the skill EXP efficiency times 6 is 600%, the idle training times 5 is 500%, and the blessing is only 50 something percent. So the blessing only seemed to add maybe a little bit, like maybe that distance between the 675 and the wee bit after. So because it cost coins, maybe It's not the most efficient, ironically, not the most efficient way of using your blessings. That didn't increase it by that much, whereas the expertise and the idle training have increased it massively. So I'm just going to hit this ground a couple more times, and you'll see this start to level up really fast. So planting, what's that, probably need to hit it 2 more times. So I'm level 596 at the minute. Hit it 3 more times just to be sure, and we have leveled up to 597 just like that, and well into 597. So like as I say, I'm fairly high in the planting level, and that is increasing a huge amount between both the idle training and the skill EXP efficiency from the expertise points. So I'm going to keep using this while this blessing's up. I'm probably going to do a whole lot of farming activities for the next hour, but very soon I'm going to hit this level 600, and then I'm going to have to go to the skill trainer and improve these. But essentially, if you know that you're going to be using one particular skill quite a lot when you log in, you should definitely make sure these expertise points are used, because they're relatively free. So you should always have your expertise points in use depending on what you're doing, and even if it costs you a bit of coin to switch between them, if you're kind of moving between different skills, then that's fine, it's worth the coin. But you should also, if you're willing to leave your computer on, the idle training has a huge difference too, because I couldn't believe I was by level 400 in planting a couple of days ago, and then I started to idle train, and then also increase my level of farming activities in game. But I have flew through these levels, and it's gonna be, as you get up higher levels, obviously you need more EXP to actually level up, so it will slow down. But I can't actually believe how quickly I've flew through from level 400 to level 500. So essentially, do these 3 things. Well, maybe not the blessing. The blessing you can probably take or leave the blessing, but definitely make sure you're using the expertise points and idle training if you're willing to. And keep an eye on this reserve proficiency as well, because obviously this is an indicator of what idle training you have left. This is an indicator obviously of how many points that you've spent into the expertise. But the difference that it makes is huge. So these are things you should really be doing if you're looking to level up your skills, and even if you're not mad looking to get level 900 as soon as possible, you should still be doing it, because some of these things you unlock, like for farming here in particular, what I'm about to unlock at level 600 increases my plow efficiency by 100%, which is massive, because if you've done any farming at all, you realise that it is a wee bit grindy, not too grindy, but a wee bit grindy, so it takes plenty of time. And for me to be able to do things 100% or well, slightly less than, I'm already at 116%, and once I get a better hoe, it'll make it quicker as well. But that is a huge increase, and I'm sure there are similar increases in everything. If I go to mining here at 600, what of that? Oh, we can identify better ores and such. So everything, the level 600 and everything will unlock something very important. Last thing I'll say then, I said about I am upgrading or having to upgrade these talents from, once you get level 450 and then level 600 and then level 750. The way you do that is you have to go to neutral camps on your map, and you'll go to a neutral camp like this. So this is a pirate neutral camp, and I presume they're all shown as yellow. And there you will find a skill trainer, and you will pay him money depending on what level of skill you're bringing up. You will pay him copper coins to actually upgrade it and to unlock the next level. Now you have to be the level for upgrading above level 450. You have to have reached level 450. You can't be level 449 or level 1 or whatever. You have to hit 450 and then you go to him. So I'm going to wait for me to hit 600 here shortly, and then I'll go to him and I'll unlock the next 150 levels. But as for that, that's everything you need to know about how to increase all of your skills quicker. Those 3 ways are the best ways to do it. Now, depending on what skill you're talking about, and I'll do more videos about this in the future, there'll be different ways to improve how quick you can upgrade, particularly your combat activities, and your charisma, your drilling and commanding activities. There'll be different ways to increase them quicker. You will always be using the expertise points, the idle training, and probably the blessings to make it as quick as possible. But depending on what you're doing, it's really easy for me to show planting there, because all I have to do is just constantly hoe and place seeds and harvest seeds and stuff. So that's why I chose this as the one to show here. But the likes of combat activities, you have to be efficient with the amount of times you are hitting something with your one-handed weapon to make sure that you're increasing it as quick as possible. But as I say, I'll do videos about that in the future. Every skill, or most skills, will be different. For now, you just need to make sure that you have those expertise points being used at all times, and idle training, as I say, if you're willing to. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. As I said at the start, if you like this video, I'd be grateful if you could subscribe, seeing as I'm a relatively young channel. And any likes and comments would also be appreciated. I'll always get back to comments. But for now, wherever you are, goodbye and good luck.